Hello friend, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. I know that January 1st is over, but it is not too late to set up some systems or plans for this year. In the past, I've kind of tried to go into January 1st with like a huge list of things that I wanted to accomplish that year. And honestly, sometimes I fight the urge to not feel like I'm late if I don't have everything planned out by January 1st. And while I do love a fresh start, there is no rule that says you can't also begin later. And so I wanted to encourage you, if you may be feeling behind, or maybe you started the year super ambitious and have already kind of gotten off track, I hope this video helps to remind you that it's not too late to set or adjust your goals, to make a plan, or to discover a new way to be creative. So in this video, I thought it might be fun and hopefully helpful to share some of the ways that I'm planning for this year. Now, my goals with planning are to be super efficient and not waste time, to use tools that will be helpful and simplify things, and to leave room for not only productivity, but also creativity and also rest. So this first little journal I have is actually one that I made, and I have a full tutorial on this if you're interested. I'll link it here, but it is a traveler's notebook insert, and it's just an example of what will probably be many by the end of the year. And my purpose for this notebook is to use it as a scrapbook. So years ago, I used to make huge 12 by 12 scrapbooks, and while it's so fun and I love having them as a keepsake, I wanted something that was a little bit more simple to make and a little bit more manageable to keep up with. Not only that, but I wanted to be able to journal a bit more of what was happening in the photos, so I have written memories as well as the photos. I have this pre-cut scrapbook paper to add in, and I also have some stickers and other little details to add to it. I love this style of illustrations and the vintage and the florals. If I could create patterns like this and make scrapbook paper or fabric or journals or something, that would just be so fun. And this is a super simple way to keep memories without having to have a ton of supplies, and it's completely doable to just do a little bit at a time. I use a photo printer at home that prints out 4x6 photos, and then I will even make my pictures into a collage so that I actually get more out of the one 4x6 print. So I send the pictures straight from my phone to the printer, and that makes it extra easy. So the next things here are just some accessories that I purchased with my planner. When I'm using these traveler's notebook inserts, it can be hard to keep the pages flat, so I think that these big clips will be helpful for that and help to keep loose paper together. This mini ruler was also something I purchased with my planner, and I'll probably replace the fabric, but I do see how helpful it can be in making sure that I don't lose it underneath something, so I'll probably leave this on until I replace it. And this brings me to my main planner for this year. I am using this planner called the Flourish Planner, and I actually was not going to buy a planner this year at all. I was planning to start a bullet journal again, which I did last year, but then a couple months into it, when we were just staying at home, I just decided to take a break from it, and I never picked it back up. But if you have watched my old bullet journal videos, you might recognize that the way that this planner set up is pretty close to the core of how I was planning. It has a year at a glance, a habit tracker, which I didn't always use because they took so long to set up, but I do like the idea, so I'm excited to use these. And then with the daily schedule, there is a spot for your top 3 tasks, which is how I try to set up my day already. So I almost felt like it was kind of what I would want to do for a bullet journal, just already filled in. But there also wasn't a bunch of extra stuff in it that I wouldn't use. I love the design, and so I just decided that this would be a really good option for me this year. Now you can see that I'm having to help it along a little bit when I'm turning one page at a time. It's not super hard, it just feels a little bit tight on the coils, and I'm trying to be careful with the pages as I turn them. There are some fun extras, and I actually bought an extra set of stickers without realizing it came with them, so that's why I have 2 of those. Another thing that I like is that it's also undated. So if there is a month that I want to take off, or if I get off track, I can just pick it up in the next section and fill in the month that we are currently in. And then I also decided to get a couple of the coordinating washi tapes. I thought these were really fun patterns and designs. So some of the next things that I have are for both the memory books that I mentioned at the beginning and also for a bullet journal that I'll show you as well. This first box has stickers, and I bought them as a set and then put them in these little boxes. I have bought a few sets actually, and if you have any recommendations for how to store your stickers, I would love to hear. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I love to garden, and the bullet journal that I'm setting up is actually garden related, so you may notice a theme here with some of these embellishments. This here is an ephemera pack that I purchased, and I hope I'm saying that right. I honestly don't think I knew what ephemera meant. I have heard people say it before, but I don't think anyone has explained it, or if they did, I did not remember. And I honestly think I thought these would maybe be stickers. I googled it, and honestly I'm still a little confused about what ephemera means, so if you know, please feel free to share in the comments. And if you're like me and unsure, maybe try checking the comments and hopefully somebody will share with us. Either way, these tiny little cutouts are absolutely adorable and I cannot wait to use them. Actually, at the time of this voiceover, I have used at least one and I am excited to show you how it turned out. However, there are a ton of these and I imagine this pack will last me for a super long time. They're also the perfect size for another journal that I'm going to be using this year, which is this traveler's notebook. So I am not new to traveler's notebooks and I've actually been using one for the last year or so, but I use it for personal things that I don't really share, so I don't think I've ever shared it here on YouTube, but I will insert a picture from my personal Instagram of the one that I have, and it's from a family-run company called Juniper Grove Journals, but this one here is much smaller and it's actually a passport size. So I thought that this would be something that I could use as a scrapbook journal for my garden. I know that might seem kind of silly, but I take so many pictures of the garden from planting the seeds to harvesting, and we have so much fun watching it all grow, but I am not trying to turn my Instagram into a gardening Instagram, and I know that would be a lot of pictures to share. So without sharing them on Instagram, I don't really have a great way to keep the pictures organized. Since I didn't really have a great way to keep the pictures organized, I thought that doing one of these traveler's notebook scrapbooks on the garden might be a really fun solution. However, having it in my hand, I realized just how small it is. I mean, I knew how small it was, but just seeing it, I love it, but I think I may want a little bit more space to write on the sides of my pictures, and I don't want to feel like I have to print out garden pictures to be super tiny. So I decided to just use the larger size traveler's notebook insert for the garden and use this small passport size one as a creative journal. I just want to give myself a little bit of freedom to kind of create what I want to create when I sit down to journal. I also thought that since I have so many inserts, I may turn one of them into a place to save scriptures that I want to memorize, and maybe another one for quotes from books that I've read, that kind of thing. This one is a 5-year prayer journal that I just started this year, and I've actually already started writing in it, so I didn't film the inside, but I will link it below as well as the rest of these products if you would like to see. And this journal is an Archer and Olive dot grid journal that I actually purchased last year for my 2020 bullet journal. I mentioned that I started one in 2020 and I was all in. I even bought 2 coordinating journals knowing that if I kept it up, I would probably run out of space around mid-year. So I have this completely unused journal and I'm going to be turning it into my garden bullet journal. I wasn't even sure that this was a thing, but I am going into my 4th year gardening and every year I kind of forget what I planted and wish I would have kept better track of my dates. Like when I'm planting things, when I'm starting seeds, when I'm putting them in the ground. Last year I actually planted some tomato plants too early and then they completely died in a frost and I had to purchase new plants to replace them. And I know that there are resources out there, but I just kind of wanted to remember what I did and what worked for me. I am really excited about this and I've actually already filmed this video, so I will share that bullet journal setup video with you very soon. And if you are starting a garden this year, it might be something fun that you could try early on in the spring to try to keep track of what you were doing. Even if it's your first year, I would still recommend. I wish I had my notes from my first years of gardening. It would be really fun to look back on. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and let me know if you would like to see more planning or creative journaling videos. I typically share a lot of hand lettering tutorial types of videos, and I publish a video almost every Friday, so I have lots of them for you to watch, and I will link some playlists in the description box below that I think you may enjoy. If you are new to hand lettering, I do have a free 7-day hand lettering course that you can join by going to howtohandletter.com/mini course. I will also link that below for you as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.